PayPal work very nicely together, as well as Braintree, because they see the need for international expansion and they see the growth of cross-border trade. So that investment, which was a minority investment back in 2008, actually came out of that partnership, which happened first, as they saw us as a strategic partner with which to expand upon their own priorities of expanding internationally. So in a nutshell, PPRO is a platform that aggregates alternative payments or local payment methods around the world. So we have around 140 different payment methods that are all available via our single API, a single contract, and we're able to settle directly to our PSP customers.
I believe that the CEO of PPRO said, while commerce has become more global, payment have become increasingly local. This is quoted from him. Do you agree with that?
100%. So what we're seeing is that with the rise of cross-border trade and with the rise of consumers' openness to shopping cross-border, there is a requirement for payments institutions and merchants to cater for those new consumers and offer the local payment methods. So while the global marketplace, globalization continues to strive on, what we see from a payments point of view is that the continual fragmentation of payments, so that people have to offer those local payments in order to access those local markets.
So in China, when you enter into Chinese market, what kind of challenge that you've met about the local payment methods?
Sure. So the challenge, in very high level terms, the challenge is always the same. So firstly, understanding what it takes to be successful in that market. Now, if you're a merchant, even if you're a PSP, concentrating on all of the markets around the world, you're just not able to do that. So a very successful way to do that is to partner with experts who understand each local payments landscape. You'll face challenges like setting up entities in that market in order to gain access to local services in that market. In some markets require regulation. So there are a lot of different things, and local bank accounts, it's very onerous to try and a lot of hard work to enter into new markets. So that's why our PSP customers partner with us, is because we do that work for them. In essence, it's like them outsourcing their product team to PPRO for local payments. They focus on what they do best, the relationships with their merchant customers and the card processing, and they outsource and they rely on us, and they have a partnership with us where we can provide the local payment methods that they need in order for their merchants to access those cross-border markets. They've experienced now of almost more than half a decade of dealing with 1111 now, from an international and partnership with a lot of domestic players here in China. So from a platform point of view, it's really around continuous improvement. We have daily release cycles to enable our platform to stand up to the peaks in trading. But then also it's consulting with our scheme partners around the world. The likes of Ideal in the Netherlands, the likes of Boleto in Brazil, or GrabPay in Singapore haven't necessarily seen those spikes in traffic before. So from the point of view of their own technical platforms, there are a number of different activities that they should do. And that's where our experience comes in, and we're able to consult with not only the payment service providers who are our customers, but then also the schemes that we provide on our global platform, to enable them to look out for those spikes in traffic and to do little things like turn off DDoS limits on their platform, because sometimes with these spikes of traffic, their platform thinks it's under attack because they haven't seen these types of spikes of traffic before. So it's those kinds of consultative services that we offer to our PSP partners and our scheme partners, and then around the continuous improvement on our own platforms to accommodate for those spikes in traffic.
Let's go back to the investment part. We know that PayPal have invested $50 million in 2018 to PPRO. Could you tell us the reason of that, please? So what makes PPRO special so that PayPal will choose you?
Sure. So it's a good question. So that was actually born out of a partnership that we were beginning to form with them. PPRO and PayPal work very nicely together, as well as Braintree, because they see the need for international expansion and they see the growth of cross-border trade. So that investment, which was a minority investment back in 2008, actually came out of that partnership, which happened first, as they saw us as a strategic partner with which to expand upon their own priorities of expanding internationally. Here in China, the most visible sign of that is their recent acquisition of GoPay. GoPay is a Chinese platform that has a cross-border license, and domestic license. So essentially, it gives PayPal the ability to act domestically within China. In fact, they're one of the first foreign companies to gain access to domestic payments.
Yeah, I know that. What is the future plan of PPRO?
So, look, I mean, I look after the APAC operations and partnerships. So, from an APAC point of view, it's incredibly exciting. What our recent investment did last year with both PayPal and City Ventures has allowed us to speed up an existing plan of expansion. The most visible thing in the market around that is our recent acquisition of a company in Latin America called Alpago. So that has given us very good access and the local expertise to offer Latin American local payment methods, as well as card acquiring in Latin America. But then here in APAC, what it's allowed us to do is really speed up the expansion. Using Singapore as an HQ, but we already have resource here in Shanghai, in Hangzhou, but then speeding up the adoption and increased payment products from this region on our platform. We always prefer the direct payment, the direct integrations with our partners, with the schemes, to ensure that we can offer first-in-class service for those local payment methods.
Thanks for watching Dukascopy TV. This is Ying Wang. I'll catch you up next time.